goes aligned with Accelerate is really the basics of your business and your website. And so I've noticed that so many people have the generic Keller Williams website, right? And so we'll take a look at what that looks like. If I can get the computer to sync correctly, give me a second. It worked yesterday when we tested this because Jeffrey was present. We may have to roll to this, which is going to become a password nightmare.
It's going to be great.
We can't log into LastPass real quick.
Yes.
Can you?
Yes.
So who would let me help them / pick on them a little bit? Okay. All right. Mary West.
Mary H. West.
We'll pull you up. I'm going to get her to log in. So I assume if you go to Mary's West KW website, you're going to see nice homes on the hero image that are based in Cleveland, right? Would that be fair? Like they're going to be architecture that looks nothing like New Orleans today.
Mary, what's your website?
Mary H. West at whatever the heck
@kw.com.
the thing is afterwards. I thought it had New Orleans on it, but
Nope.
because I didn't do it.
I mean, it's going to say the words New Orleans, but it's definitely not going to.
Feature New Orleans style or
That's doing something.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Mirror, right?
I'm gonna show you on here. So let's see here. You said it's Mary
H. West.
H.kw.com. So, and sorry for those online, just imagine or go to the website when we get the big one pulled up. But this is your generic KW site. This happens after you set up your marketing profile, right? So step one is set up your marketing profile. Looking around the group here, at least 95% of you set up the marketing profile. That's the only way you're going to get a website. To set up a marketing profile, you need a profile photo, a short bio, phone number, basic stuff, right? And so we got that. But what you see here across the front, we'll go to always allow here. This is what's called a hero image, right? Like this is very typical of a New Orleans home. No, it's not, right? And when KW designed this, that's typical of a nice home, but almost none of these photos look like New Orleans unless you're down in the CBD, right? And so I think like instantly we already have an issue of being authentic by our default, right? And so then we search here, featured properties. You could customize this and make this maybe a little bit more in your wheelhouse, whether that's an actual zip code, a price point. The thing is buzzing. And then when you have this blog, which is Mary's custom blog, which is 4 ways to buy a house in Cleveland, probably, right? But this is the blog. And then this is her professional headshot that she got taken with a professional photographer. Here, gorgeous, right? And then we have search properties, which is going to zoom you in here. And then just, why would internet be fast today?
I just need your code.
Oh.
Has anyone gone into this, like set up a custom site, just set up their website at all?
Does anyone
3
have a site they're
people, 4
particularly proud
people?
of?
You can pick online if you want. We know you have.
Cody said, does anyone have
all
something
down.
they're proud
I
of
don't
that's
know.
on their website?
Something is,
I have blogs on my website.
Yeah,
That's what I have.
cool. Yeah, that's good.
all right. Ken, what's yours?
It is
edge.kw.com. All right, let's see here.
Now, we just did some work on yours together. We fixed your logo. Ken has the dark theme instead of the light.
I'm good at
And actually, Ken's is custom.
Yeah, so Ken has some custom menus here, get pre-approved, a couple different ones, his social media accounts, and a login for his clients, which is great. He's changed some of his best, the text here above the hero image. So we're going to go through all this step by step. If you have your laptop, that's great.
I have a quick question.
Sure.
So the hero images, can we
Yeah.
change? Okay.
Yep.
We'll get there. Thank you.
All right, so you can try to follow along. And if you don't, this is also recorded, and we can get you the recording. There's going to be some of you that are not going to follow along, and I'm so sorry in advance before I even know who it is. It's just we got to move. All right, so first we're going to go to command, so agent.kw.com. Beautiful. And so let's go to websites,
Would you like to cover?
marketing profile. I think every,
Is it a big deal?
what's that?
If we're on, Logan just made a point, he said, we had been told not to do much because we were on a team. Is that time past? Can we start doing this stuff now?
I mean, I would certainly do it for your team site. It's going to look,
My own individual site, like, can I just start doing, I'm just gonna do it.
Do it.
For like over a year, we've
Yeah.
been told not to do this.
I would do it for all, right? And anything that we cover, even like I'm going to show you, we put a lot of work into our Market Center site, and so that's what I'm going to show you today. But all the modules and how it works is the same as agent site as a team site. It's just maybe your content.
So yeah, just to preface, you do have to have your marketing profile totally built out before you can even establish your website, which shouldn't be an issue for anyone in this room.
Yep, so marketing profile, and then we're going to go over to websites. And when you see this,
That's what we see.
If
That's
you
what you see.
haven't established your subdomain, it's under settings and it's here.
So if it pops up as a team to get to individual,
you're just going to switch
would
it
be
just like you always switch from team to individual at the top right. Yep. Let's talk subdomains, right? What makes sense? Anything? Just whatever? So I think it would either be the exact same as your KW email address, right? And that way it's just when somebody thinks about you in your world, it's precisely the same. Or potentially like what your team name is, your value proposition name, one of your lead sources. And so if you're like NewOrleansInvestments.kw.com, I think is like, interesting because there's a little bit of like number one SEO, search engine optimization, is going to reward you for your URL, right? And so you're getting some instant street cred by just what that subdomain is. Yep.
Can a subdomain be a blog too, or is that a page?
So it's anything before that, before kw.com, right? And so it has to be available still.
Okay.
Like, we have a wonderful team, not at this brokerage, that claimed New Orleans before we did, and they won't give it back to us. That's really, really sweet of them, even though we have the DBA. So it's super important, and it has to be available.
You could change it, but once you take one, just keep it.
Yep. Let's do the Command MC real quick. I'm going to show them through, I'm going to walk them through ours because it's the same. And so ours looks exactly the same. So edit your website. All right. So here, this quick start, honestly, is a little bit confusing and doesn't really matter until you actually know what you're doing, right? Like if you haven't already established a blog, quick starting any of those doesn't make full sense. But let's look a little bit of like what we have
We want this, right?
Oh, yeah, thank you. You'll see on here a whole list of basically every page that's on your website. And so if you're just getting started, you're going to have just the generic KW pages, which is completely fine. All right? Let's just first go to the home page.
Down here?
So right here, default home page. And so you're only going to have a certain number of modules that you can even edit on the home page, right? And so some of it's just replacing text. And ours looks a little bit different, but you can click on any one of them, and it's going to be a drop down. Yours will read, again, slightly different, but you can change some of that text in order to be something that's a little less generic than that's currently there. This is what we call the hero image, right? So it extends from the entire max width of the page. Normally what that would appear like is what we would call a GIF, but this is actually a video that's produced. After this is done, we'll send you a couple videos that you can swap it out for, right? You can create your own. There's like we created this off of a free video creator by adding 5 images in there on a rotation of like 5 seconds each, right? You can go do it on your own. If you do it on your own, make sure you're using images that are not copyright protected by somebody else, right? And so you can use anywhere from like Adobe stock and pay for some images. If you actually own images from any professional photography, which usually you don't, you could use those, right? But you can negotiate that with, a photographer of yours. They probably don't care, but you probably technically don't have those rights until you get those. And you'll be able to flip that out, right? Easy day. So that's your home page. You can go through and customize some of those modules. Or you can also show or hide them. Like if right now your blog is generic and you want to wait until your blog is built up a little bit more, you just hide the blog for now. And all you do is in here, display or hide module, you just change it to hide. So if it doesn't make sense, it's just not jiving with you. Like another one I think is testimonies. Well, if your website doesn't have any testimonies right now and you don't plan on ever putting testimonies in there, just hide it. Get rid of it. A lot better than like a blank or generic one. Okay, let's show how you change the custom navigation. So over here on the top little 3 lines, under admin organization site. Hidden over here, which is probably the most important place that you're ever going to spend time ever doing your website, is there, which is not intuitive. It's a little confusing. But this is where most of your customization comes from on your KW website. So we'll go through a couple of these things. It wasn't until recent, well, it used to be where you had very few options and it was red KW or gray KW and it was a font. Now you have a whole different set of kind of fills for the website that you can make it a lot warmer, potentially custom to your brand on the website. So like we did the mint light, and that's that green bar at the top and at the bottom. We feel like that's a little bit better warmth to New Orleans. You can kind of see where we're going with the theme here with the market center. Makes sense with the oak trees. And so we went with that. And then we also changed the font to Jost, which is actual KW approved font. You all have a whole bunch of other fonts, and you just kind of have to click through to preview different versions of the fonts to figure out which one you like.
And Jost is actually the luxury approved font.
Yep.
So it just looks really sharp.
Okay, and then the next thing is when you have like the boxes, like jump to another tab and like open a blog, like the blog page. I don't know if he has one. Just jump to ours.
Is that right, or is that?
Nope.
That's not the
KW
one.
KW New Orleans. Yeah, you're just
Whoopsie.
you're just really trying to.
Oops, did I drop who did it to us? Okay.
And so you just click, blog and media.
Secrets here.
That was an accident.
So that detail is like, do we want round boxes? Do we want square boxes? Do we want pill boxes? Not significant, but that's what that option is for that field. So jump back over. Yeah, so round, pill, square. Cool. Subdomain is set by the other page, so we're good there. Scroll down.
I can't.
I know, it's tough. That's Market Center specific. All right, so let's talk about what Google Analytics is and what it's good for, right? Google Analytics is a free tracking code, right? And we're not going to go through step by step on how to get that today. There's a great answers.kw.com article about it. You can also just Google, how do I get a Google's Analytics code, right? And so what that's going to do is just track traffic to your site. And if it's just a vanity project, you can just track that you have hundreds to thousands of people who go to your website. Well, that's pretty worthless, right? So that'd be a waste of time to go get an analytics code to figure out how many people are coming to your site if you're not actually doing any paid advertisement that's directing people to your website. But what we can do when we look at the analytics is see where people are coming from, right? So how do people end up on your website? Is it because of a paid advertisement on Google? Is it because people are just searching Lana Hunt because they're trying to go on dates with her and they're going to her website, and we can kind of get an understanding of that flow. It's not nice. I got to stop.
So you gotta stop.
It's all out of
I
complete
know
love.
it's in love.
But
She's loving it too.
The most advanced use of Google Analytics is a perfect funnel of I spend $100 over here and I can track it to a closing over here, right? That math's not perfect. You wish you could spend $100 and get to a closing. But the idea is if you're going to pay for any sort of anything, you can have a code that tracks it from there to your website and hopefully to contracts and closing. Does that make sense? Yeah.
I was told by somebody, I don't know who it was here, I can't remember anything, I guess a month ago, that we can't put Google Analytics tracker on that.
Untrue.
Even though it's there, it doesn't work?
Fake news. I could pull up my personal one and I can pull up the Market Center one, and so I look at that data. Yep. So I mean, and you'd be surprised, how many people make it to your website. And I guess maybe we should get rid of some of the myths right now. Is leads to your KW website, are they worthless? No. Right now, yes. Like every lead that you ever gotten to your KW website right now is worthless, right? They're all like WhatsApp, let me, can you go get me some Google Play gift cards, right? If you follow up with that lead. Well, it's because you're not really running any plays to drive traffic, and then also they get to your website, it's generic, and there's no value proposition, and there's no reason why they would ever, like a real human being would ever give you their contact information. The reality of like business 101 is, in the 21st century is people want to go to your website if they're going to do business with you. And I think that's still true even if you're a real estate agent. And if you think like clients or potential clients aren't going to your website, I think you're completely wrong. Yeah, and so I think they're landing to a page that just doesn't look like you are fully invested into your career, and that's where the problem is. I'm not saying like you need to go spend 100 hours on your website, but I think as a basic 101 is you need to update your website so at least there's a shell, there's a value proposition, and there's a lead funnel to make sense of it. And so Google Analytics will help you kind of track some of that through.
And a recent headshot, fleshing out your contact details, all those things really do matter.
Yep. All right, so the most important part, which seems very hidden here, up here, real quick, this is going to have inherited org site navigation provider. That's really intuitive to say that's your default, is what is selected for you all. We're going to want to go to custom, right? We're going to build a custom. And so right now we're talking about the header here across the top right. So we're custom, and then I called it just KW New Orleans custom. Tracking. Give you guys a second to get there. So, well, but I like.
You want to draw.
Oh, I think maybe if I turn off the airplane, this is how. Here we go. Stop mirroring. Perfect. All right. So there's really like a few different things that you can put on your website. So one is like KW modules. This is really thick.
I think it's really cool.
An example of a KW module is
Home valuation.
home valuation,
Tool.
right? Why is home valuation important? Everyone wants to know what their home's worth, and like you're trying to get sellers.
And it
To me, home
captures-
valuation is like the other side of searching for property. Searching for property is mostly for buyers. Home valuation is for sellers, right? And so this is, they can put in the address. They'll get like a kind of a zestimate, to be honest. But it will also be, would you like your agent to follow up with you on this? Either way, you're going to get their lead, right? But that's a custom KW module.
Not only their lead, but their home address, all their contact information. It's beyond just a simple form.
Yep. Next thing, really sexy iframe. Anybody? The cool part about iframe, and we disabled this for a long time, is that iframe is literally any other website. Yeah, and so, and the reason, like, of course we disabled it is because, you know, one of you, of course, not in this room, put things on their website that they shouldn't have, but somehow we moved, I guess the lawyers moved past that. This allows you to take any other website published anywhere and basically embed it as a frame. So when you think about like a website, here's like your header frame, and down here's your footer. On your KW site, those are going to be consistent on every single page, right? And that makes sense. But in this area here, you can embed an iframe. Yep.
So I have several very strategic domain names that I purchased.
Uh-huh.
Could that be that, or does it have to be a fully built out website from somewhere else?
You'll have to be a fully built out page. You could forward some of the subdomains to your KW site, which is a good point. Like if you have, you know, Metairie Investments can forward to your site. But this is going to be an actual web page that's hosted somewhere.
Cody, would this be like for us, like when we have to keep like Mutual of Omaha, Keller Home Loans? Is that like websites of people like you do business with, or?
Yeah, I'll give you. Let me show you an example here. Maybe this will make a little bit more sense. And so on ours, if you go over, yeah, go to the Market Center one, and if you go to careers, if you can accept this real quick, this so we can get rid of this. So this whole landing page, and you can scroll, is a whole different website that's being pulled in that was built actually like on Go High Level, like a whole different like place that we built it because we wanted it to be super custom. And then when you get to the bottom, see down here you can almost see the frame that is kind of hidden until you get to the bottom, but it's just allowing that web page to be displayed there. So where does this make sense for you? So for a long period of time, Jean, for instance, had an iframe to Cloud CMA because we didn't have the home valuation at KW, right? And so Cloud CMA has this really, really clean lead capture form that like you put in the address, kind of the same thing that we just developed, right? And so she just used it as an iframe for a long period of time.
Yep.
Cool. And then, so KW modules, iframe, and really blog. So blog is kind of a KW module, but it's a little different. Why do we care about blogs? Anybody? Why?
Oh.
Yep. Blogs is all about search engine optimization, right? And so I think best example is whenever we heard from Walt with New Orleans and Company. I mean, they have an entire group of people that write original content, because in that way, whenever you search anything about New Orleans tourism, NewOrleans.com better be number one. There is so much damn original content on there. Google like gets it. Like, and they're not paying, like NewOrleans.com isn't paying to be number one on Google. They're paying for original content, in which Google rewards them heavily for it.
I think this is an example of how the content diamond can really come into its
I was about to say, how do we get so many blogs, Cody? My goodness.
You create your blog, and you have a topic, or your blog can now be a YouTube video, it can now be an Instagram reel, it can now be, you have your topic.
Yeah, and hopefully, like, you know, on Monday they crush this. So I don't want to steal any of their thunder, but I think it's super simple to create a 52-week blog, right? I would do it by neighborhoods. There's 87 neighborhoods in this city, and week by week, I would just do neighborhoods. You know, it's still my idea. I would love it. And you just focus content each week on neighborhoods, because at some point, someone's going to search Treme real estate. Well, who in this city is crushing Treme real estate? What original pages are created on Treme real estate in the city that talk about the architecture and the history and properties for sale in the Treme? Nobody, right? Unless you have a blog, and then there's a compounding effect if all of a sudden now you have a Marigny and you have a French Quarter and you have a Bywater and you have a 7th Ward, and all of a sudden you own real estate in New Orleans as far as Google is concerned. All right. Oh, and really, yeah, I guess there's external. So by external, up in those custom URLs, you can just link to a whole nother website, right? So you can just say, depart my website and go somewhere else. Okay? So let's jump over and show them our website and just kind of walk them through which is which. At the top. All right, so our second one, neighborhoods, when you hover over it, and just, okay, so you're already on Garden District here, right? And so your KW website, branded to you, already has like a landing page for every single neighborhood with market stats, days on market, properties for sale. Yours looks exactly like this one here. So here, like market summary, and let's just scroll through this. I know scrolling on.
Now, when you send a neighborhood nurture email and somebody is subscribed to this neighborhood, when they open the email and click through it, this is what pops up. So this is really easy to access, and people do click on these and use them.
And again, if they clicked on any of these, it's still inside your website. It's in your world, schools. It's like a really a more beautiful Zillow without all the advertisements, frankly. How do you find these? It's a little funky. I literally had to just go to search properties, zoom into a neighborhood, click a property. Like, I'll show you how to just go to search properties.
So let's
They are not
try-
created for you already. Nope. And if as a market center we could create them like instantly for everybody, we would. Yeah, so like you can search on here Garden District, but it's not going to take you to the landing page, which I think is a little silly.
Yeah.
But you're going to see properties inside the Garden District. So you have to click in one of them.
Oh, shoot.
Nope.
Back down here.
Yep, to you. Yep, everything is 100% to you. So down here, halfway down a specific property listing is go to neighborhood. And then that's the URL you want to copy. and it's specific to you, so I can't send it to you. When I did this, I just opened up a notes and I put I picked my top 10 well, I actually asked ChatGPT, what are the top 10 neighborhoods people buy in New Orleans? Boom.
So I
Garden
just
district.
changed it to me, and now it's branded to me.
Yep.
Boom.
And so you're going to just copy those URLs. And we'll show you where you place those here in a minute. All right, jump back to the top of ours. Or should we? I guess we could go show them and inherit it. Yeah, jump over to the site org. Where we're building out our custom header.
Yeah, I gotta just get back.
Oh, you got excited and all right.
So we recognize this is a little complicated to start up, so schedule time with me. Ken already has. I'm happy to help. All right. Here,
You guys
neighborhoods?
got this. Yeah. So neighborhoods here. And so the main navigation just says neighborhoods, and it's the sub-navigation is literally is why it's dropping down and giving you all those others. So like inside the fringe quarter, it's just click that. Here, it says external because I'm giving it like an actual URL because it's not a built-in module, but that is, you're putting your site on there, so you're still staying, the customer's not gonna ever experience you dropping them from the site. And you're just building out as many as you want. I mean, clearly you can only have so many on a page, on a drop-down link. Okay, let's jump back over to our website. So the next one's blog and media. So we'll click that. So that one, we just left as, we don't have it as a drop-down. I think your personal website, you have it as a drop-down because you have a couple
And
blogs.
It's too much. This
Yours
is a much better
yours
way
is
to do
complicated.
it. Yeah.
Ours is you want to go to blog and media. When we post a blog, which only takes us probably a couple minutes every time we post one, it's just there and it shows up. And we'll show you, we'll jump into it. I guess now, can we show them a custom blog? Like we'll edit a blog post real quick.
Yes. I'm going to close up some of these. Okay. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would.
Pen. Blog. Media.
It's going to, yeah, we'll jump back. Well, once we finish the header, we'll show them a blog post.
Okay.
All right, jump back. Let's look at the top of their header, everything after blogs. So specific to us, we have our agents, our leaders. I'm going to show you what our agents shows in case you haven't been there. So this is what's being pulled in from all your marketing profiles on our site. Things we are sad to see is when there's no profile photos or they're not professional profile photos, but it's even a pull in social media links.
Called out.
I've seen that all over the internet.
That's right. You should have seen it all over the internet. Pay a lot of money for that. I'm not convinced that people come to our website, go to our agents, and then go just pick their favorite, agent off here. But just so you know, it is being pulled off of here. Go to my personal Cody.
Look at those 3 photos right there, and you can tell which one of those is a professional photo, like instantly.
Yeah.
And look at their numbers. I'm just kidding.
Well, I guess I do have a fake phone number, so people don't know I have a 214. So let's talk about a couple other things that I chose to put on my personal site. Download my app. The URL for your app, which is, I guess, jump back to, open a tab, agent.kw, and then go to websites. You know where to find the URL to your app?
Do what now? Websites?
No, just agent.kw, and then go to websites.
Got it.
And then we're just showing them where to find their app URL.
Got it. Oh, it's already up over here.
So,
But this is
well,
the market centers.
yeah, so just jump over to command. It's fine. Websites. Settings, and you'll scroll down. All right, you see this app URL unique to you? Mine is KW1J4EJV, which I would never be able to memorize if my life depended on it. And so you copy that, and that's the link that it's download my app. It's an external link, and it links to there, right? Because that's the only way I would ever be able to say, hey, Jean, nice meeting you today. If you go to my website, let me get you there, and here's how to download my app, and you click this. And what it does is it takes you to the Apple App Store or Google Play Store, and it keeps like embedded metadata in order to, when they download it, that they get an app that's branded to you, right? That way when they're clicking on stuff and saving stuff, it is all inside of your command. Jump back over to my page, please, ma'am. So I changed the wording of blog to neighborhood blog because that's what I think would be interesting. So this is like my test here, this 7th Ward. I'll show you, just click this beautiful post. And it's just, I mean, honestly, it's a ChatGPT version of, I want to talk about history, architecture, and some market stats. I pulled the market stats out of the text data out of RPR, and I did a screenshot of that data for the week. Right? Again, you're trying to create content that literally, it will take you 10 minutes once you get into the rhythm of it. Right? In the beginning, it'll take you a few hours to set up. What's my home worth? I think sounded better than home valuation tool. Mortgage calculator, which is a module that you can also pull into your KW site. No, that actually looks like I did one from a third-party site.
Frame, yeah.
Yeah, I did. This is an iframe, so I just
Oh, but
picked.
look, that's Keller Home Loans.
Is there
I
not
think.
one that's designed by Cody?
There is. He's just saying he's not sure if that's the one he pulled in here.
We'll pull it up here in a second, I guess.
Yeah.
You had to pull one, yeah. So again, you can kind of be creative on what any of those other tabs could be, but to your very basis, like let's at least change out the content where it looks local, right? So let's go back over to organization site. Let's minimize this. Does this all kind of make sense a bit? So you're going to make a simple navigation, and it's going to either be one link or there's going to be the sub with a whole bunch of drop downs.
So what I tell agents when they meet with me is before you even come in, think about what you want on your website, because we need links handy, we need kind of a vision, and then we can build that out together. And I'll show you how to get started, and then I will send you on your way to play with it. It does take some time, but once it's set up, it's really nice, and you might tweak it here and there. But you start here, and then you build, and it can get, really extensive if you want it to. But it's pretty nice, yeah.
You just got to think everything that you're doing on your website, you're trying to get leads and contacts, right? Like if you're just going, there's a little bit of like, sure, you just need a basis of having this damn thing, and like, let's just go through the exercise so you look professional. And there's another one where it's like, well, let's actually, like when we think about how all of our leads in our real estate world work, are we directing everything to a contact capture form in order to get somebody to give us their information? And so if you're writing the blog, at the bottom of the blog, there should be a contact me form. There should be some sort of mofer of like, give me your information, and so I can like take this little bit to the next level, right? All right.
I'll move to yours and I'm just playing in it. So that's the Cloud CMA that you, I think, archived, but you have
Perfect, yep.
this as the KW page, which is live.
Yep. So this custom page is what it is. So you're creating this from the beginning. It'd be that quick start custom page. It asks you for a page title, and then you're able to pull in one of these custom KW modules. I'll show you what, look, click here to add module. So here's the entire library, and click all. Here's all the internal KW formatted modules, right? So anywhere from, you can have a page with text and photos, which is what you see with some of those. And so like if you wanted to spend a ton of time, you could have like a about Treme page that is static and lives on your site forever. Or maybe you have a page because you have some sort of marketing program for agents, right? And it is, I work with investors, and this is why I'm your best agent to do this. This is, this is my formula to help you find your best investment real estate. Or maybe it's a custom page where you're just talking about how you've sold 1,000 homes all over the city, or whatever the case is. These are kind of templates to help you do that.
There's even more than I realized. Like, I could definitely afford to go in and look at some of these.
They've added a lot more. Yep.
Yeah, they look really good.
So, and then one of them is like for those featured listings, right? And you saw that on the home page. Well, maybe you want that on another page. So maybe you're creating that custom Treme blog, Treme page. Well, you could just feature listings in Treme on that page. You just change the zip code to 70116 and you do a smaller radius.
And how do you share listings with your clients?
The way that I share listings within, so like, somebody sends me a Zillow link, or they tell me, hey, have you seen 123 Main Street? I go to codyc.kw.com and 123 Main Street, and that simple URL at the top is what I always share, 100% of the time.
So even though this is Richard Abair's listing, it's branded to Cody.
Right. Yep.
Hey, how did, when he says request a tour, you change those?
Nope. Yours looks.
Earlier it didn't say that.
We were on the Market Center website earlier.
Yeah, I just switched it to
Yep.
his personal,
Yep.
yeah. So you could see the difference.
Yep. And I mean, all this gets fed into your command. I don't want to send anyone stuff that they have potential to depart my pattern and go somewhere else. I mean, I really have clients that, for whatever reason, love the neighborhood nurturers, and so they're clicking on stuff there. And so when I'm sending them things, it just keeps it all inside of one little ecosystem. Yep.
Oh, Brandon has
Brandon,
a question. No,
Sort of. All right. So the way that I think about
not this way.
the way that I think about my flow of buckets inside of command is the first one where command's really useful is the cultivate, or even pre-cultivate, right? You have all your people, they're living their good lives, they're probably at year number 6 of living in their home, and they're not going to move for another 2 years. But we're sending them neighborhood nurturers, we're sending them home valuations because they still care about the most important investment in their lives. Well, let's say all of a sudden, Philip starts clicking on things on neighborhood nurturers, and I see he's recently active. Well, as an agent, that pings me that Philip's maybe up to something, right? And so I communicate with Philip, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not interested right now because I don't have to be. Interest rates are high. Wait until the kids, get out of school, in 2 years." Well, that's a hell of a long time to cultivate Philip, right? But I can tag him, put him somewhere. It's really whenever somebody says, "I'm looking to buy a home in the next few months," that they're hot, right? And I really moved that out of KW's world, and that's when I start getting into MLS and Matrix. And so that's when they're on the instant searches, and that way they don't miss anything coming from me. But there's, and that still can be branded to you, but yeah, you want to be in that MLS database kind of world. You got to think the way that data is transferred across to a bazillion real estate sources, and KW is one of those. You want to live in that MLS world for, that way clients are getting stuff real time from you and not Zillow.
And it's a platform called One Home, and it actually looks really nice, and they can mark favorites or say no and move on, and you see the list in your dashboard
Yep.
of their activity.
Yep. Most of what I think in like Command is getting people warm to that point of like, let's get hot and heavy.
Belly to belly.
No.
Yeah, so like if someone clicks, let's say I had a first time home buyer at the top, and they click it for, how are you notified if they request information? Does it email you?
You hit the little bell at the top right of Command, and you'll get a notification if you're logged into the Command app. That's correct.
But it depends on how you set it up, because you could do a lead capture form that would email
Oh,
you
you would also get an
probably.
email. Yeah, it's a good
Yeah.
point. You'll get an email too. Yep.
Depends on how you do it. There's your bell.
Yep. All right. Couple minutes for questions.
I have 2 appointments set. Who else wants an appointment with me? Send me an email, please. Maybe we'll do a workshop. I don't know.
One, I just want you all to see like what's possible. Don't overthink it. At least get the step 1, get the basics right. Get rid of the junk on your site. Get it updated. Monday, I hope you'll get some fire behind you where I think you're going to feel like I need to figure this blog thing out.
So, like, in general, like, you should set, like, a reminder to, like, at least every quarter or something just to go in and tweak your site a little bit, update, because it's pretty much going to, once you set it, it's going to run, but it's always good to go in every so often.
Yeah, and I think Jeffrey made this point maybe last week's meeting, which I think is like crazy, but lovely, is he just has a spreadsheet where every single one of his like bios are, right? And so anytime like in a couple, maybe quarterly, maybe annually, when you go to update it, you know that, oh gosh, Realtor.com has my bio too. And I want it there, but I don't want to spend a ton of time on all that. And so you can go through and crush, copy and paste real quick to everywhere and not feel like you got to do this, every once in a while.
Yeah.
I think it's really clever. Cool. All right. Well, thank you all. I hope that was useful. Sorry.
Thank you.
I love when I
They're
get up here.
mesmerized.
I know. I love when I get there.
We just increased John's workload.
Yes, that's what I'm here for. Thank you.
Oh.
Happy